It's YouTube, baby. So I had a fun idea because you got me the Godzilla variants this week. So I thought it'd be fun to like rate them, and then also like one of them I am gonna kind of shit on. So because the my bottom one is the Miles Morales Spider-Man,
Hmm.
and it looks cool, but they fucking traced it. That is this is 100%. I have it pulled up a scene from Godzilla Final Wars. 100% traced.
Yep, you're right. So were you like, I know that.
Yeah. It's like when I saw it originally, I was like, I think I know. That's from Final Wars, right? And then like people posted online, they're like, Marvel's not even trying. I was like, yep, that's the scene. That's it right there. And then I'm gonna go Spider Boy. I like
Oh,
this.
dude,
It's
I
I think
like
it looks
that one a
super
lot.
cool. I like the others just more. Like you already know what my number one's gonna be, but but I think it looks really cool. It's a different design. It just looks neat. And then I went with the Exceptional X-Men, which I actually read this one this week because it was at number one. Like the other ones, I'm like, I'm not hopping in the middle just for the variant covers. I'm just gonna look at the variants. But I like this. Godzilla's not really doing much. Like it's just kind of like, yeah, we'll toss him in the back, but he looks cool in it.
Hmm.
Scarlet Witch looks awesome. That
It's a
one's
good
like
one.
you're getting like actual Godzilla, action in it. That's like why it's better than the exceptional X-Men one. And then next up would be old Daredevil. I think it looks cool as hell. It's also though like the only downside is like they literally could just like do some photo editing, pop that out, put in anybody. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like it's not like the Scarlet Witch, but still Daredevil and Godzilla, which is just awesome. And then number one, surprising no one. This is awesome.
It's incredible.
So cool. So yeah, I mean, not much more to say. It's just he even looks like a little cutie. Look at that.
He does.
He's like, I'm gonna eat you up. So yeah.
Yeah, I had to get that one for me too. I mean, I get every Thor variant, but I was happy to get that one.
Yeah. I'm really thinking about since this is basically the Godzilla quarters of like hanging those up on the walls, but I'm running out of for those that haven't seen, I'm running out of wall space. So I don't know. Don't know how well it's gonna work out.
Yeah. Yeah, for this week, Thor was also my favorite. And then that Spider Boy one. I nearly got that one for myself just because it looks so nice, but I was like,
Yeah.
nah, someone else will appreciate it more.
It's super cool. And like, I mean, at least they chose a cool pose for the one that was traced.
Yeah.
Like it could have been worse. It could have been like the scene from 54 when like Godzilla is looking over the hill and like they did the puppet. And it's like you're like, it's not the best puppet work. I'll just say that. So it's like they could have done that instead.
I
That would have been
hope
pretty rough.
I hope one of them it should be Quicksilver racing Godzilla while he's on the doing the tail thing.
Dude, that would be so awesome. If your your friend Brian slash your like what you're his employee.
His art rep.
Yeah, his your art person Brian, if he's listening and he wants to do a variant cover like that, just do it and tell Marvel, just build them, be like, this will sell, guys, here. Give me money now.
I think it would sell better than some of the others we've seen for sure.
Better than the traced one for sure.
All right. Well, I guess kick us off, man.
All right, man. What's up, everybody? It's Casey with Two Rules Podcast, and with me, as always, it's the Mufasa to my Darth Vader, R.I.P. James Earl Jones. It's Jake. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty bummed to hear that news today.
Same. I didn't know he was as old as he was, though.
Yeah, like 93.
Yeah. I
Lived a
also,
long life.
I'll say this too. Like until recently, I didn't know how good of an actor James Earl Jones was. Like I just knew him as like the good voice guy, you know. And I saw a clip. It was like on Instagram where it was like him doing a play and then like I think Denzel doing the same character in a movie. And like they're doing the same exact monologue and like I mean I think Denzel's like a amazing actor. Like that's not that controversial. But I like James Earl Jones' version of it more.
I liked him in one of the first things I saw him in was actually Conan.
Oh, I didn't even know he was in that.
Yeah, he's well, I don't know the character's name, but he's like a king in Conan.
Okay.
Um, Speaking of RIPs, I just saw this as you were doing the opening. Comic artist John Cassaday has passed away this evening.
I think I did. I saw that 'cause Mark Wade posted about it. He had a Facebook post on it.
Oh, okay. He was only 52.
That's
So,
fucking terrible.
yeah. So a sad day. Sad day in the nerd realm.
Yeah.
But all right. We can just jump right into the news.
All right, man. So I'll start with this because we kind of mentioned, we briefly talked about this. Orlando Bloom is in talks to come back as Legolas. And he also even said, he said that they're going to use AI to de-age him. So I'm assuming it's going to be for the old Golem movie. And then that he also said it was like I'm paraphrasing because I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but he was like, yeah, they've talked to everybody that they need to talk to for that. So it's like a lot of people are speculating that Vigo is gonna for sure come back.
I
So
just I just want it to be good, man. I don't
yeah,
want them to come back for a movie that sucks.
yeah. I mean, I have a feeling it's gonna probably be at the weakest, like fine. You know what I mean? I have a
Hmm.
feeling the Lord of the Rings fans will probably be upset with it,
Yeah,
no matter what, you know?
yeah,
Not saying you, but like the ones that hate the Ring of Power currently
mhm,
probably aren't gonna be a fan of it because it's
yeah.
just like, it's not really making, it's hard to make fanboys happy.
It is. I've got one or two customers. They're um, middle-aged or older, and they absolutely hate the movies. Huge fans of the books. They
That's
hate the
wild.
movies. I know. And it's because of the things that they left out, but it's like, guys, you can't put everything in. You
Yeah.
just can't do it. Um, the biggest one that people always say is they're mad that they left out Tom Bombadil. I don't know if you're familiar with that character.
Like a little bit just because like I'll go down the Lord of the Rings wiki rabbit holes every once in a while where I'm like, oh, who the hell's this guy? And I'll find out, that type of stuff.
Yeah. Well, he's basically like God. He's
Yeah.
been there before the trees even. And it's like, yeah, he's cool in the books, but he's not going to add anything to the movies. He's just a
Hmm.
silly guy who helps Frodo out like as soon as he leaves the Shire, he helps out the hobbits. And then after that, he's not as prevalent. And it's like if they put that in, that's another 45 minutes to that first movie. I could
It's
see why they left it out.
another 45 minutes and then like what you have like you then have to explain why this god character isn't gonna just take the ring himself. You know what I mean? Like you have to spend time with that too. So I get that. I know a lot of people also get mad that they don't do the oh, whatever it's called, like the whatever the Shire, where the Shire is on fire.
Yeah, the scouring.
Scouring, that was it. I know a
Mhm.
lot of people don't like that too.
And I get that because in the book, it is cool to see the hobbits go back after all they've been through, and they're like, we can handle this, and they actually can. Um, but again, it's gonna add another 45 minutes,
Hmm.
and it's like, would you rather they cut Tom Bombadil or something more important that made it into the movie? So
Yeah, but I think if Peter Jackson had his way, he probably would have done 9 movies and then probably would have had it all in there.
yeah, and it would
Like
have been
if
great at the time.
like yeah, if he could have like if he had the pull he has now, that's what would have happened.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I I don't think he will, but I kind of want him to come back and do this Gollum movie just because
Yeah.
like if anyone's gonna do it, I think it should be him.
I saw one thing on Twitter where people were like complaining, and I'm like, these are kind of fair complaints, where it was like concept art that like was in like the original, like older Tolkien books and stuff of like different things in the Tolkien verse. And they're like, this is so much better looking than what we got when the movies finally came out. It was like, different things where I'm like, I I mean, it's all it's like all just your opinion and stuff. It's like, yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. What we got in the movie will still look pretty cool too, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I my bias aside, dude, I truly believe that the visuals in those movies hold up, and
Hmm.
the armor designs and the costumes all still look fucking awesome.
Yeah. I I'm curious just because I have not watched them in forever if like some of the CG, is probably looking a little, you know, meh in comparison to what we get. Not I won't say now because,
Like it's
now
some
it's
shit now.
yeah, it's like it peaked like, probably 4 or 5 years ago. Like that era, it's, see if it compares, but
Still, I still don't because like I recently watched them through. I watched the extended editions with a friend who had not seen them before. Um, so we watched them on Max, and Max has like, the 4K, whatever,
yeah.
Ultra HD, and it looks great. It really does. I mean, I'm sure if you
Hmm.
watch I've got the VHSs sitting back there. I'm sure those probably aren't super great if you watched it,
Yeah.
but still, I like the cave trolls and stuff. I still think look pretty good.
Yeah. It helps too that it's like a lot of the cave troll shit, it's dark.
Hmm.
Like, because like I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about Peter Jackson's King Kong, and they're like, yeah, there's times where like the special effects stuff just don't look that good. Like they look herky jerky, that type of thing. And it's like that's because he's out and about in the jungle, like bright sun and stuff. It's like I get why it might not look the best anymore. It still looked good at the time, amazing
Hmm.
at the time.
Yeah, it sure did. Didn't I mean King Kong won some awards for the visuals, right?
More than likely. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be hard not to. And I have a theory too with Peter Jackson and like how good his Lord of the Rings still looks. It's because he did so many shitty B movies that had like $10 budgets.
Yeah,
It's like he knows how to make a dollar go pretty far. Because I'm not gonna
absolutely.
lie, the Rings of Power stuff, like their armor in that show, like this is just the visual test. Look like shit compared to what we got in Lord of the Rings.
Most yes. Most yes. I uh my lady and I watched the current episode last night, and I thought it was the best episode of the season. Um like there's a scene with Galadriel. She's in just this fucking kick-ass armor, and her and like a squad of elves have to fight what are called barrow wights, and those are things that actually Tom Bombadil helps the hobbits escape from in Fellowship. So it was kind of cool to
Hmm.
actually see them. Man, they looked awesome. Just these undead, you know, elves or maybe men, I forget which they are, bust out of the ground zombie style, and the elves have to fight them. It was so cool.
Nice. Man, this
People,
is
the people that were complaining, I was reading their complaints before because they dropped 3 episodes
hmm.
at the start. It's like, yeah, okay, some stuff's cheesy, but I didn't think there was anything like so egregious that it warranted whatever they were complaining about.
I mean, I think that's it's just gonna be one of those things where it's like they want stuff that they already know from the Tolkien universe. I think that's a big part of it too. And it's like this sounds like it's all its own thing, isn't it? Like it's all like a new shit, right? I think that's what part of the problems with,
Not really.
no? Okay, then I misunderstood.
Yeah, I mean, it's just we don't get a complete story from the Second Age. We get him talking about bits and pieces of what happened during the Second
Okay.
Age. So, I mean, in a way, you're not wrong, but like they're hitting the bullet points, you know?
I get you.
Um,
I think
but
that probably hurt. I think that probably hurts it even more though with like fanboys because they're like, this isn't how I imagined it. Whenever, he briefly mentioned this before, you know what I mean?
well, yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what it is. And also, half of it's just because there's black people in the show.
Yeah.
So, you're gonna make somebody mad no matter what.
Though I did see people complaining that the orcs have families.
Yeah, okay, so that's one of the big things, right? They're like, oh, I can't believe the orcs are complaining about having to go to war and they want to stay home with their kids. It's one like 15-second scene. An orc is holding just a swaddle. You assume there's a baby. And he's like, we just got done fighting. Do we have to go back out there again? And I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what he
Yeah.
said. And the guy's just like, yeah, we're not stopping until Sauron's dead. And then it goes on. And I'm like, that's what everyone's complaining about?
It'd be
It,
hilarious if the orc's like, okay, well now I'm gonna eat my dinner, and he's like,
I know, right? Oh gosh. It's just, I don't know. Like, because whenever I read that before watching it, I was like, oh, well, if that's going to be like a big thing in one of the episodes, then yeah, I will also think that's pretty lame. But it wasn't. So it's like,
yeah.
guys, who gives a fuck? Not every single orc in Lord of the Rings was like the Uruk-hai, who were bred from the mud to be stone cold killers. You know what I mean? It's like
Hmm.
they came from the elves. So anyway, welcome to the Lord of the Rings cast.
We're the one podcast to rule them all.
Yes, there you go. It is kind of fun to watch stuff because like the whole show so far this season, Elrond is like, guys, like these rings are a bad idea. I don't trust them. And everyone's like, but look at the power they give us. We're helping our people. It's great. So it's funny to be like, now Elrond's right. And like
Yeah.
we're gonna see all of this come crumbling down, and I'm kind of excited for it. But
It'd be
anyway,
funny if like Elrond then starts like trying to get them all to take part in his weird pyramid scheme religion.
yeah, I know, right? It's like, hey, Gladriel, I haven't seen you since high school. Got this new thing going on. Anyway, all right. Um, so Allison Brie has been casted in the He-Man movie, Casey. Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Jake's real excited.
I was gonna say, I was like, this that had to get you just all sorts of revved up for that movie.
You betcha. She's playing Evil Lynn, which is Skeletor's like right-hand sorceress. So she's a great actress. I think she's gonna kill it in that role.
Hmm.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, should be good.
Hmm.
So less exciting news. Blade and Armor Wars both might not happen, it turns out. Armor Wars seems like it's very much probably not going to happen anymore. But they're for Marvel's going to decide their fate by the end of 2024. And I also saw a really dumb rumor that I wouldn't buy at all on Twitter today that they're going to like Marvel's really like I guess Robert Downey the rumor is Robert Downey Jr. is being kind of a pain in the ass. And so now Marvel's like, maybe we shouldn't have made him our next villain. And maybe we should bring back Jonathan Majors when he gets out of prison. And so it's like, do I believe it? Absolutely not. I think it's bullshit. But that's something else I saw that was a silly ass rumor.
Yeah,
But I wouldn't be surprised if Blade. So I'm going to say this, and has no backing with anything. I wouldn't be surprised if Blade gets canceled and then we get a Wesley Snipes Blade related movie after Deadpool. And then Armor Wars, I just wouldn't be surprised it just gets canceled because no one cares about that. Like
I
that's
don't
one of
even
those.
think Don Cheadle cares about it.
He was being interviewed and someone asked him about it and he's like, "What's Armor War?" And he's like, it's just very much like, I don't want anything to do with this.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Blade will happen either. I want it to, and I wanted to see, you know, Ali step into that role. But if it's between him doing it or that getting canceled and Wesley getting another one, I don't really care because I'm gonna see either one, you know?
Yeah. Hmm.
Do you think one is like just, I don't know, either better for the fans or better for the franchise if it goes one way or the other?
I think so. I think the Marshall Ali one could have been something that would have been really great for Blade. But anymore, I think it's just like I think that window's closed because of all the rewrites. It just sound, and like all of that stuff that happened with it just sounds like it would be a fucking train wreck. And whatever we get, it's not going to be very good. And then like with the Wesley Snipes one, I think it's a safe bet. But I think that is probably you want a safe bet with a character like Blade anyway. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, you could have something that's like, you know, whatever, that's like, you know, swinging for the fences and like it works. But there's also like with Blade and a bunch of these other characters, it's like you need to go safe, probably, especially
Well,
with the way stuff's going with Marvel now.
I don't disagree, but then my next question is they're they're back to the same square one of needing to write the movie and all
Yeah.
that.
Yep. No, 100%. But I think they're still at that square one.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it doesn't really matter either way. So, you
Dude,
know,
I mean, shit. I At this point, I just adapt that comic that we you and I read this last year. So
hmm
I know we didn't love the ending, but it's like that's one that I think could translate well to a movie.
yeah. And then
Have Benedict come in for a cameo, just like Strange does in the book. I think it'd be cool.
yeah, no, I think it could be really cool. I think, I mean, honestly, I think it should be a show with Blade.
Yeah.
I think that works so much better than a movie because movies cost a lot of money. And, I think just a proper Blade TV show, even though the last Blade TV show I think only lasted one season on Spike TV. But,
I don't even think I remember that.
I mean, I never
Oh,
watched it,
yeah,
but
that
I
guy.
I remember seeing it on and then never actually watching it and then seeing it be at Walmart and then be like the full series. It's like I think this was only one season.
The complete
Yeah.
total series.
It's like $20. That seems a little high, Walmart.
It makes me want to watch it though. Okay. God, we're getting off on so many
Yeah.
fucking tangents, but whatever. There's like no news. Speaking of early 2000s vampire movies, last week I got a big itching to watch Underworld. You know I love those shitty movies.
Yeah.
It's not streaming anywhere. Nowhere. I have access to like seven fucking streaming services. It's not on any of them. So I was like, fuck it. I'll be a good boy and buy a physical copy. And Amazon had all five in one pack on Blu-ray for like $12.
I didn't know there was five of them.
Oh yeah.
I thought there was just three.
So, hey, if this video gets 20 likes, Casey and I will marathon all five Underworld movies for you guys.
Hell yeah. And then I'll toss in one more thing. We'll have we'll even make a video of us because we'll do commentary. That's what we'll do. Okay. And then we'll do a video of us fucking cooking snacks for it. But they have to be vampire or lichen themed snacks. They aren't werewolves in this. They are lichens.
Hmm. Yep. Or just Michael Sheen themed because
Yeah.
he's the main lichen.
Dude, speaking of shitty vampire things. So apparently I saw this Netflix, and I'm gonna gauge your excitement. Netflix is doing an animated Twilight, but
Oh yeah.
it's the Twilight from
It's Midnight
Edward's.
Sun.
Yeah, are you interested? Or
Oh
are you
yeah.
like, do you think they're gonna get the original voice actors and stuff? Okay.
Not Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
He fucking hated doing those movies.
I have a feeling not Kristen Stewart either.
No.
Taylor
She's
Lautner, everybody.
Yeah. I think everyone else could come back, but our Pats won't want to. And let's be real, Kristen Stewart is like an indie movie phenom, right? It's like
Hmm.
she's had a wildly successful career after that. So it's like she probably won't want to either. Um,
Yeah. The only thing now is like since they're old, even though they're like, just only a little bit older than us, but since they're old, they might look back and be like, that's kind of what started my career. Maybe I will do this just for, shits and gigs and that big old truck.
yeah, maybe because Pattinson will be like, well, God, I don't have to start filming Batman for another 4 years, so I might
Yeah.
as well do it.
He'll be like, wait, I don't have to do anything but talk? Okay.
Yeah, Kristen's like, I have to just deliver my bland ass lines again. Okay.
Yeah. You know what's really funny and confusing? Taylor Lautner, he's married. Do you know his wife's first name?
Oh, it's Taylor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, I saw a thing where she was like a huge Taylor Swift fan, and Taylor Lautner dated Taylor Swift for a little bit. So I saw like a TikTok where uh his wife was lip syncing the song that Taylor sang about Taylor. God, that's really confusing to
Yeah.
say. The point is, that's where I learned it from. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh wow, they're both Taylor Lautner. That's pretty funny.
I just love the thought of like the two of them out to eat and then like they see Taylor Swift. So then she's like, oh, Taylor, look, it's Taylor. And they're like, Taylor. And it just keeps doing that.
It's the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Um, so Marvel in December is going to be doing the theme of that month for variants is Marvel versus Capcom. And they're gonna have artist Bengus come back and do those covers. And he is the guy that did the amazing box art for Marvel versus Capcom.
Oh wow.
He was also like one of the main designers for the early Street Fighter and Darkstalkers games. And they showed a few of them. They've got, well, here, I guess I can just share the screen.
My nephews get super into Marvel versus Capcom, fighting games in general. If there's any of those that are really cool, I might have to get one or two for them.
Those are the ones we know of so far. His
Oh, dude, those
Wolverine
are
is S tier.
yeah. I love his Storm.
Yeah. I mean, they're all killer.
Hmm.
I'll definitely end up with some of them. I won't say all of them, but I adore his art style. I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, pretty exciting. That's like I'm fine with variant months for pretty much anything. Like obviously the Godzilla one's cool right now, but this is one that I'm like, fuck yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, there's that in December.
Alrighty, so I got some more Green Lantern news. We'll see what you think. Chris Pine and Timothy Olyphant are shortlisted if Josh Brolin turns it down, as well as Ewan McGregor and Matthew McConaughey. Um, then actors Samson Idris and Aaron Pierce are rumored to be in the running for Jon Stewart. The way it sounds like the story's gonna be, the old crusty cop with his new young partner, which I kind of hate because I think John needs to be around the same age as Hal. I think that just works better. I like the idea of the two of them and Guy all being basically the same age and like friends.
Mm.
But that's just my opinion. I'm not the highest on this show, but I mean, all these actors that they're trying to get for Hal, I would have loved like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Like Chris Pine was the one like when he was cast as what's his name and Steve Trevor, I was like he would have been a much better Green Lantern. And then like Timothy Olyphant, I've been saying for years would have been an awesome Hal. So.
I don't like Matthew McConaughey for that role.
No, because Matthew McConaughey's just and I think he's a good actor, but he's too Matthew McConaughey. Same with Ian
Hmm.
McGregor. I love Ewan McGregor, but I don't know. He's Ian McGregor, especially if they're trying to go with like cranky cranky guy. Ian McGregor is just like too charming.
He is. He's much too charming. Yeah, hopefully I would rather either Chris Pine or Timothy Olyphant over um
Rolling.
Brolin, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
And then really quick too, I'm paraphrasing because I couldn't re-find the quote, but James Gunn was talking about his DC universe, where it's like he's like, yeah, with this movie, with the Superman, heroes have been here for like a long time. Like we've had superheroes for a long time, and basically we're seeing this world that's already established, and like later on we'll do movies that take place before this and then movies that take place after. It's going to be however, which I'm not a fan of that idea of being like, oh yeah, we're having now random prequels and sequels and all that stuff. But it does have me thinking, you think we're gonna get a like a proper JSA, World War II movie?
That's what that quote tells me.
That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, that's actually pretty exciting.
Yeah. Oh man, I hope so.
Yeah,
You know what they should do is just adapt James Robinson's Golden Age comic.
that would be pretty dope. Yeah.
That's a great book.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's I get what you mean about random prequels, but if it's like a timepiece like that,
Yeah.
especially when it's the JSA and it's a bunch of characters I love, I'm all for it.
Yeah, like with that it would work, but if he's just like out of nowhere, he's like, I just want to do a Superman movie that takes place before this other Superman movie. I'm like, we need some linear
I don't think he'll
storytelling,
do
but I
that.
don't think he'll do that either. But or if he was like, it's like, oh yeah, I want to do more about my brother Max Lord and my friends that are in his Justice League. I want to do a movie about them or a TV show about them. It's like shit like that. I could see him doing, especially a TV show. And I'm like, that's stuff that I don't think is necessary.
Yeah. Well, I saw I think it was this week, but like Peacemaker season two, they said will come out in the latter half of next year. It's like, man, it's taken so long between seasons, and I know a lot of shit has happened, a writer's strike, and like all this stuff has happened since then, but It just feels like all that stuff is so far away, and
Yeah.
I really want it to be now.
Well, and then another problem with the Peacemaker not coming out until then, it's because Superman's coming out before it.
Yeah.
That's another like, established thing that he wants to have Superman first. And, that again,
Hmm.
that's kind of what he said. So,
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Okay, my last bit of news. I know that you already saw it prior to me putting it in here, but Andrew McLean, um, he wrote and drew Headlopper, which is a book Casey and I both love a whole bunch. And I'm sure that a few of you listening have had that book recommended to you by me at some point. That he's doing a spinoff for his character Agatha. It's called Agatha, A Tale of Three Witches. You can back that on Kickstarter. It was backed in an hour, which I thought was pretty awesome
that is awesome.
because that just means the people want more Headlopper stuff.
Hmm.
Um, I think I know the answer, but is this something you're excited for?
I mean, honestly, it's hard for me to get excited about Kickstarter comic books. I might back it, I might not. I haven't really decided yet, but it's something I'm interested in for sure.
Hmm.
But, what about you? Have you backed it yet?
I did back it, yeah.
Okay.
I did the tier that comes with a t-shirt because I thought the shirt was super cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's what I did with Starlagon whenever I backed that one.
nice. I love that idea. I mean, he's got an apparel company, so might as
Hmm.
well.
Hell yeah.
All right, that's it for the news, man.
Alrighty, dude. What'd you read this week?
I read Public Domain number 8, Immortal Thor 15, Minor Arcana number 1, Dawn Runner number 5, Daredevil 13, and Birds of Prey 13.
Oh, dude, I would have like put money on that you were gonna read Plastic Man No More. Kind of surprised.
Uh, there was a reason I didn't. That it might have been like I didn't know who the writer was or something
I
like that.
gotcha. So I read Exceptional X-Men number 1, Scarlet issue 4, Godzilla Skate or Die issue 3, Plastic Man No More book 1, Batman 152, Public Domain issue 8, Minor Arcana number 1, The Incredible Hulk 16, and Daredevil 13. I think I might have a few more than you.
I think you do too. Also, I don't know. I don't think you asked for Minor Arcana, but I was like, there's no way he doesn't want this. He just doesn't know what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But alrighty, so Exceptional X-Men issue 1 by Eve L. Ewing and artist Carmen Carnero. And this is a Kitty Pryde heavy issue. She's like depressed because of the Krakoa stuff, and she's working at a bar, which we saw in Uncanny X-Men. And she's just trying to live her life and goes to this concert, meets this other mutant girl, saves her, but she's still just like, she's kind of just depressed. And then, at the end, Emma like contacts her basically, and that's how it ends. And it's like, so I'm not gonna lie, I really like Kitty Pryde. I think she's a cool character, and this was like awesome. But everyone else that's like on the cover outside of got her and Godzilla, like if it was like a buddy cop of like her and Godzilla, oh boy, this is my favorite book of all time. But Emma and then these other people that I don't care about, including Emma, I don't really care about her either. I have no interest in reading any more of this. It's like this is a perfect first issue though, because it's like, yeah, Kitty's awesome. The other character that like, because this girl, she pops up and Kitty saves her and stuff. I'm just like, I don't care about her. That's how I am with like most mutants that are like in there. Just like, the god of the Marvel universe. I'm just like, I don't care about them. Those little freaks. But so yeah, like I think it's a really good first issue, and I think if you like Emma and those other weirdos, this will probably be a series for you. But since I just like Kitty, I'm gonna go 8.5, and I'm not gonna keep reading it, but Yeah, it was really good.
Well,
I'm
I'm
I
glad you
I'm
liked
gonna
it.
I'm gonna say this. Curious what Preston thinks because I know he's a big Kitty Pryde fan.
There you go, Preston. You have to comment and let us know.
And if you don't, I'll know you're not listening, and I'll be very upset.
All right. And do another one.
All right. So Scarlet issue 4. Um, first, I'll say cool cover, but I really think Storm Shadow should just mop the floor with Scarlet. But that's just my opinion. Scarlet and Jinx are like, they talk a little bit. Storm Shadow kills a bunch of people. They're kind of like talking about the plan and stuff, and like Scarlet's like, oh yeah, the weapon's here because of these reasons. Art's really cool. And it's just reads quick. That's the one downside, and that's the downside of this book every single time. But I really liked it. We also got an ultra mega little like preview backup, but I'm just like I'm not reading this at all because I'm just so excited for that book to come out. But look at this splash page. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Like
it's good.
if you like ninjas killing people with swords, this is a good book for you. So yeah, I'm gonna go like 9.5. I really, really liked it.
All righty. I'll talk about the Immortal Thor, number 15. Uh, this Alex Ross cover of him flying over Asgard is fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you got this, you got the Godzilla cover. It's like, how do you choose which one's better? That's why I had to get both of them, you know?
Yeah. Alex Ross just like we say this all the time, but he just must be like living his best life right now because like he is going so hard on these covers and they all look so good.
They do. I He's at least doing every Thor and Fantastic Four cover.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't think any of them have faltered in quality.
No, there is like every once in a while with his Fantastic Four covers where like I would look at them and I'm like, I wonder if he just had this lying around versus,
Hmm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then like later on, it's just like, no, no, this is like 100% based off of like a quick plot synopsis, you know? So it's like it's pretty awesome. And I'm assuming the same thing with Immortal Hulk, you know?
Yeah. It depends. Like the one where he's arm wrestling Herc, we thought there's no way that that has anything to do with the book. And then it did. So
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah.
All right. So it's written by Al Ewing with Jan Bazaldua on the art. I think that this book, at least with like the last 8 issues, gets better with each issue. This is a very cool book where Thor, at the end of that last one I showed you, he like took in all of Zeus's powers into himself. Well, then he just like harnesses all that not great energy into a belt that he just wears now. He's like, it's going to be safest on me. And he gave it a name. I'm blanking on what he called it. Uh, Yolgjord. That's what I'm going with. Yolgjord. And it's like, well, maybe in 20 years this will be like, oh, first appearance of Yolgjord, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a big item. But anyway,
I can't wait for Taka Waititi to make a joke about it.
yeah, it's gonna be great. And definitely not a big piece of shit. But yeah, anyway, so the rest of the book, he goes back to Asgard and Sif's like, hey, someone's here to see you. And it's Enchantress. And they have a little will they, won't they moment, which was pretty cool. I like the dynamic between these two characters, but she was basically like, hey, my son died during Strange Academy. Was that the name of that book?
Yeah.
Kids. She's like, I want you to help me bring him back. And he was like, But yeah, but your son died like valiantly in battle. I don't want to bring him back because that robs him of his, his glorious place in Valhalla. And I don't know. She was basically like, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. And then it cuts to because she mentioned after Thor fought Dario Agger how she's in Troll of Roxxon. And then we get like a little sequel thing at the end, an epilogue, I guess, where some scientist brings Dario Agger back, and he's like, a god killed me, so now it's only right that Dario Agger kills the gods. And he's got a brand new look, some evil red eyes. So we'll see what happens there. I imagine it'll probably be an Enchantress and Thor team up against him, but we'll see. But it was really good, man. I think it's a great book. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. It's there are like three books that could take pick of the week title this
Mhm.
week. This is one of them.
Nice, man. Alrighty, so I am gonna talk about Godzilla Skate or Die. This is by Louis Joyce, and art in it is awesome. I mean, like he does a lot of weird stuff with the paneling, and that's always welcome doing that, different type of stuff. Get some Varan versus Godzilla stuff, and yeah, I mean, like it just looks such a like so cool. Not a lot of dialogue in this issue, but again, I'm just like showing all this
Yeah,
different stuff
art's
because
great.
I just think it looks so cool. And like I said, he does his layout, this design's weird. We get like a little bit more plot stuff too, and then that's like not just kids, it's the military stuff, and super into it. Like I'm into this book, and we get some robots. I think the skate kids are going to be fighting Godzilla coming up. Like these weird looking robot designs. They kind of make me think. I don't know if you remember in Pokemon, like Omega, like in Ruby and stuff. Those weird like legendary Pokemon that are like just like weird rock formations, or like what I'm
Um,
talking about.
Actually, that was Generation 2.
Well, actually, in Omega Ruby, they were there too.
Oh,
You,
okay. You're
yeah,
thinking of Reggie Rock, Reg Ice, and Registeel.
probably.
Yeah, you
That
are.
no, I mean I called them like Kyle, Greg, and big old guy.
Of course you did, and that really hurts my soul.
No, I mean big old guy is probably a Pokemon name on my Pokemon games. The other one's probably not. But no, I really like this book. This was a weaker issue though. Like I mean, don't get me wrong, the art's really good, but like plot wise, just didn't move. They did stuff, but I don't know, it didn't do as much as what I would have liked, I guess. But it's still like an 8.5. It's still really, really good.
Okay. I've got two outside of Army Cheese.
Me too.
Okay. Dawn Runner #5 by Ram V and Evan Cagle. Cover goes extremely hard,
Hmm.
as does all the interiors of the book. Um, yeah, this is the final issue. The gal that pilots Dawn Runner just gets like absorbed by it. So Dawn Runner turns into this big, like fleshy mech abomination that looks fucking cool. And it just destroys the big monster that came through the portal. And then God, I wish I could remember her name, the main character's name, but I can't. Anyway, her sick daughter is like on her deathbed. And so the consciousness of the guy from the past that is in control of Dawn Runner goes and gets that daughter from the hospital and like places it inside Dawn Runner's heart, and that heals her. But in doing that, it like makes him go away. So instead of dying, the daughter like becomes Dawn Runner and the main character just has to live with that now. So it was like a really bizarre ending, but at the same time, I guess it's happy because her daughter doesn't die, and also they stop the monster invasion. But it was fucking cool, man. Art was awesome. I wish it weren't over. That's like my biggest beef is that it's done now.
Yeah,
So expect a gift sometime in the future of this book because I want you to read it because I think you'll dig it.
right on,
It's
man.
like it does remind me of Neon Genesis a little bit, except the difference is I liked this.
Now, okay, so I've got a question about like your because I know you're not a fan of Evangelion. Did you watch the movies or did you watch the show?
The show.
Okay, because I was gonna say if it was the movie, because I guess there's like I was listening to Kaiju versus History and they were talking about that and they're like, I don't know who the because it was the first movie. They're like, I don't know who this is for because it's like they've condensed the show down to like the worst possible version of the show that you could actually make. And that was what you get in the movie. And I guess it's supposed to be like really confusing. And then also like it makes the main character who's already a putz even worse. And it's just like who is this for? And then my nephew, who's a huge fan of that, I brought that up to him. He's like, yeah, the movie's not good. The first movie is just not good. Like it's so confusing how it's he like wasn't explaining it all to me. I'm like, man, this universe is just so fucking bonkers.
It is. There's definitely stuff to like about it,
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't for me. And the people that are like, this is my favorite, I just don't get it. I don't get
yeah.
it. But
Well,
this
dude,
I do get, and I
yeah.
really like.
Well, dude, like it's if again on Evangelion, they say in Japan it's like as big as Star Wars is here. Like people that won't even know they're like, oh yeah, I know who Asuka is or whatever. Like that's the Han Solo, right? Of the anime.
It's like there there are so many more better animes out there, guys.
Yeah,
Whatever. I'll give this also a 9 out of 10. It's also one of the candidates for pick of the week.
right on. All right, so this one isn't. This is Batman 152 by Chip Zdarsky and Mike Hawthorne's art. Art's good, story's fine. I mean, like, I just wanted to make that joke, but it's like Batman fighting the Suicide Squad. He's like having a, and he's giving away like, oh, this is how I'm doing all this stuff. Like, there's a Bizarro there, so I'm having to like go against that in a way, and then all that stuff. It's solid, and then the world starts blowing up that they're on, and who shows up? That's it's fucking Dark Side, and that was like the way that Zdarsky and Hawthorne showed Dark Side. It's awesome because it's just like it's just they're like Batman's like shitting his then Batman's like shitting his pants because he knows what it is, and yeah, it was awesome. Like
That
that
is
part,
very good.
yeah, super cool, and I enjoyed it. It was pretty funny to me because we had just read the Kevin Smith Batman, and there's a part when they both take their fucking cowls off on the island together, and it gave me like a little bit of a chuckle for that. But the main story is pretty good. I would be like the main story is like a 7.5 in that area. Then the backup we get something that I think I'm just gonna say this. You'll want to read this backup because
Okay.
you are a Birds of Prey boy, and this is called Emotionally
Oh,
Compromised, and it's by
I
Kelly
did
Thompson.
read that.
Okay, and Mattia Deus on the art, and the art's amazing.
Yeah.
And
So that
yeah,
artist did that 4-issue Valkyrie book that I was
oh
ranting and raving
nice.
over.
Yeah. And it's awesome. I don't really know a lot of what's going on with like Black Canary's what is it? Her sister?
Dude, I'm so glad you're talking about this. This annoyed the shit out of me. I shouldn't have to pick up Batman to read that, and you shouldn't have to read that picking up Batman. Why is that in that book?
because it's an absolute power tie-in. So they're just showing
Fuck
the
that.
different stuff.
It should
If
be in Birds of Prey.
it could be in Birds of Prey, or I mean, honestly, even in Green Arrow, because like a lot of this stuff sets up. Like if I was reading Green Arrow, I'd be annoyed also because Black Canary's going on, going to talk to Green Arrow. But I mean, assuming this is your favorite part because we get Barda in a bikini jumping down.
It, it could be.
You're just like, yeah, worth buying the book.
Hey, I know that muscle mommy's doing it for you too.
Oh no, absolutely. But for me, like this book's probably a 7.5. It's perfectly fine. Again, like if they would have just cut the stuff out with Black Canary's sister, I would have like enjoyed that more because that whole shit, I'm like, I'm not invested in this. I don't know what's going on. The rest of it, I think all worked within like as a backup, but that was like way too plot heavy in the fucking Birds of Prey book that I'm not reading.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have known about it if I hadn't seen on the internet that it was a backup in Batman.
Yeah.
Okay, well, speaking of Birds of Prey number 13, it's by Kelly Thompson with art by Gavin Guidry. And it was the last part of this like time and space jumping around thing. Um, but essentially, you find out in a previous issue that the bad guy of this arc, I don't know what her name is, um, had, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, like six sisters. And one of them's in this book helping out the Birds of Prey. The others were murdered by the evil sister. So Cass gets help from the person that was the main character in the Spirit World book. You know what I'm talking about? Spirit World, they did that with like
Oh yeah,
City
yeah.
Boy and blah blah blah
Yeah.
to to basically create or recreate the souls of those dead sisters to really mind fuck the evil sister and then all gang up on her and beat the shit out of her. It's like it was pretty cool that that's how they took her down. But then, like at the very end, this kind of annoyed me. So there's Spirit World character Constantine, you know, Barbara, Black Canary, Barda, Zealot, Vixen, Black Canary's sister, this other time traveler. All of them are in the same room with the evil sister, and the evil sister just gets away. It's like you could have done a better job than that, you
Yeah.
know? It's like, oh, she just ran back through and dove through the portal and then the portal closed. It's like, really? Nobody could have stopped her before she got to that fucking portal? Whatever. I know it's comics and the bad guys need to get away sometimes, but it was still just like, come on.
Constantine was like the closest, but then he started coughing because he smokes too much.
Yeah. Or just didn't care.
Yeah.
um, yeah. But then it ends with let's see, Black Canary gets like a text on her phone and she's like, Oracle, you need to see this one right now. And then it ends and there's no context, no like next time or anything. So I have no idea what that's about. But anyway, book was still fine. I'm gonna give it probably like a 7.5 or an 8. Uh just that escape annoyed me.
Yeah. All right. So, Plastic Man, No More, Book One. This is by Christopher Cantwell with Alex Linz doing the art, and then also Jacob Edgar doing art on pages 9 through 11 and 16. So it starts with Plastic Man when he was still like the criminal. It just kind of shows how he gets his power and stuff, and then goes to like him getting shot with this energy beam, and then he's like, oh, my body, and like it's like it shows how the Justice League doesn't really like take him seriously, because he's like yeah, that kind of hurt, guys. And they're all like, oh, Plastic Man, you're so funny. And then like his arms coming, like his arms just like leaking, basically, like he's just kind of like melting away, like and whatnot. And so he's brings it up to the Justice League. They don't really take him seriously, and they start laughing. And the only one that takes him seriously, you want to take a guess who takes him seriously? It's like,
Batman.
no, it's everybody's favorite monkey, Detective Chimp. Is like, oh, I'm gonna like talk to Bat. He basically was the one that was like, yeah, you need to help him, Batman. So Batman gave him like a card for not a doctor. It's a plastic, uh, like a person that knows plastics really well, basically. And so then she tells him like, hey, you're, falling apart and blah blah blah. And so now Plastic Man's worried for his son, and he doesn't really put two and two together though that he got shot with like a solar death beam. Like that's like my one thing, which is like, yeah, it kind of checks out for Plastic Man. He's not really a logical thinking detective type character.
Right.
So like it checks out, but at the same time, I'm like, it's obvious what's happening, Plastic Man. It's the fact that you got shot with a death beam and your body's just kind of like, you know, falling apart because of it. I don't think your son's gonna have this happen to him. I don't think he's gonna get shot with a death ray. I don't know.
Was
But
his offspring? Was that his son's name? You
I don't
remember?
know.
He
Because
was
like
like a character for a while.
yeah, because he's in this, and like they made it sound like he was actually in the old Teen Titans, but he
Yeah,
just calls him
offspring.
okay, he just called him by his, Luke is what he calls him. So
Yeah.
oh, and then also I forgot to mention this because I kind of forgot some of the stuff that's like, coming off of him, it's actually still alive, so it's like moving around and shit.
Oh,
And he doesn't know about that. But no, this book is awesome. It's actually gonna be my pick of the week. I'm gonna give it a 9.5. I really, really liked it. I'll show you also like the main art I like, and then the secondary artists I think you'd probably like even more. It's like
hmm.
Darwin Cookish, and yeah. Oh yeah, there's a little Hawkman for you too.
All right, fine, Casey. I'll read the
I
book.
mean, that's about all that he's in. But yeah,
Ah, it
it's
sounds awesome. I'll
yeah,
I'll check it out.
it's like Plastic Man body horror.
I mean, I do recognize Christopher Cantwell. I don't know why I didn't pick it up.
You guys sold out of it because everyone loves Plastic Man so much at your shop.
I might have one or two left on the shelf.
You ordered three. All right, man. What order do you want to do our mutuals in?
Uh, well, they're sitting here, Daredevil, Arcana, Public Domain.
No Hulk?
Oh, no, I guess I forgot that one.
Okay. So did you read it or do you just not have
Nope,
okay.
I just totally missed it.
Okay. Well, I'll talk about that really quick then. Yeah, it's Philip Kane Johnson and Danny Earls on the art still. Like, I'm just gonna say this. I know you might disagree, but Nick Klein normally does the art. I
Hmm.
think Danny Earls is like the perfect step-in artist because it's like it's close, like it's not, I don't think it's as good, but it's close enough to Nick Klein's art that like it's not jarring. Like when we got other ones, like I still liked a lot of those other
Like
fellow
Travel
artists.
Foreman.
Yeah, but it's like it's so jarring in comparison to Nick Klein. This is like, like whenever the Wonder Woman book for New 52 had come out and they got
Oh, Simon Suzuka to
yeah,
do, yeah, Cliff Chang.
yeah, and it's like, yeah, this it's such a good step in, type of thing.
Hmm.
So yeah, we just get kind of like more of the lore building with this past stuff. And yeah, it's perfectly fine. You know, I'm into it. I'm interested in seeing where the next one goes. I'm still like, I mean, it's just like at least they're doing some stuff with the green door now. Um, yeah, it's a good, it's good. You'll like it. I'm not gonna say much more than that. I'm probably at an 8 for it.
Cool. All right. So Daredevil number 13 by Saladin Ahmed and Chris Campana on the art. Pretty great book.
Hmm.
Another guest artist, but I thought the art was pretty good. It was like it reminded me of 90s comics, but like in a good way.
Like Nightwing,
Yeah.
your Nightwing run that you love.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I 100% see that. I like it. It's good. It's like it's not as good. It's like some of the Electra stuff I doesn't look as
Mm-hmm.
good, but
I agree.
yeah, I mean I enjoy it, and it's like I like the inner turmoil they're giving Matt with not wanting to help Kingpin like that. It's like, yeah, I get it. I do. So like it works.
It does. I really think that Saladin Ahmed was like the perfect person to take over Daredevil, man. I mean, the
Yeah.
more that I read, the more I'm like, God, he's a good writer.
Yeah. And it's like so it's very similar to like when Mark Waid, I would read stuff where Mark Waid would talk about taking over Daredevil after like all of the dark and gritty, and he's just like, let's lighten it up. Like this isn't lightening it up. It's still like gritty, but it's completely different than what the stuff Zdarsky was doing,
Hmm.
where but it still feels connected. And it's perfect that way too.
Yeah. Um, probably like a 8.5 on it. I really
I,
enjoyed it.
I'm feeling a 9. I think it's really good. And if you're not reading this Daredevil book, you really should. It's really good.
Hmm.
Okay, Minor Arcana by Jeff Lemire. What'd you think, man?
I thought it was pretty awesome. But it's like, you know, I say that about pretty much any miniseries that Jeff does. Like, it's moody. It's it feels personal for Jeff in a way. It's good. His art is just as good as it was on Fish Flies, which came out not too long ago. Um, I kind of like how this character is like, I'm not doing my mom's tarot shit. And then immediately weird shit starts happening with all the tarot shit. I think it's
Hmm.
fun. I
Yeah.
liked it.
I liked it okay. I didn't like it near as much as Fish Flies and the others. Like this one's just got like a little bit too much teenage angst, even though she's
Hmm.
not a teenager. But it's like she never got over that stage. Like
Yeah.
she's listening to I Like Snaps right now.
Hmm.
She's just in her room blaring that. But
Yeah, it's a great comparison.
but like so that took me out of it. So like I didn't really care much for our main character, but I think it's like one of those things where I am gonna read all of it and I'll probably like her by the end of it because there's gonna be character development. Like right now she's moody and angsty and she'll get over
Yeah.
it.
By the end, she'll go from listening to, My Chemical Romance to some easy core, probably.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it probably another 8.5. I thought it was solid.
Yeah, see, I'm feeling a 7.5 for that one. I think it's like you said, it's solid. And I'm invested, but I'm just like, you know, I don't know. I think it's just because it's Jeff Lemire that I'm as invested. Like if it wasn't Jeff Lemire and it was, someone else, I'd be like, whatever. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
probably gonna pick up the next issue, but Jeff Lemire, like, he's done enough good shit that I'm like, yeah, I trust you.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, I probably wouldn't have picked this up if it weren't Jeff anyway.
Yeah,
So,
to be fair.
to be fair, all right. Our final issue is number 8, A Public Domain, written and drawn by Chip Zdarsky. And it should come as no surprise that I love this issue.
Hmm.
It's just so fucking good. And it's really frustrating that more people aren't reading this.
Yeah,
I
but
think
at
it's
this,
some of Chip's best work, really. I believe that.
yeah, I'll say. I mean, I'm not surprised because this is like it's a very niche book.
Hmm.
It's like, oh yeah, you really like the inside workings of comic book business? It's like, Oh, it's first off, it's like you read comic books? You're like, yeah. You want to like read a book that's like a parody of the comic book industry? Like on the inside, most people are like, no.
Yeah, but do
So
you hate broken families? It's like, well, not really.
yeah, it's like what?
It's like, trust me. And he
Yeah.
slides you the first issue, and then you just fucking love it.
Yeah.
And I want Diamond to send me my fucking copies of Domain #1 so we can read the spin-off.
I know. It's like by the man, how mad will you be if like that fucking book sucks so hard? Like I get or like we both have like the whole series and the first issue comes out and it's just like poop on a page and we're like,
Well, that's
damn.
disappointing. The thing is like I really don't think I will like it as much as this,
Oh no,
but
I don't think so
I
either.
I think it'll be a nice companion book to it.
Yeah.
So,
I will say I loved the letterer. She's my favorite.
oh yeah, the one that did the graffiti.
Yeah. And then I also loved like when they were talking about the inker or the colors and they're like my passion is brown.
Dude, I know. The interviews were really funny. It also cracks me up every time. Uh, fuck, I don't know any of their names, but the deadbeat brother, anytime he's like has the hots for the editor, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And she's
Yeah, it's
just like,
so funny.
yes, I know. It's a great book, though. I really like it. If you guys don't want to jump in on issue 8, first of all, you shouldn't. But if you can't find the other issues, pick up the trade paperback. It is very, very good.
Yeah, and it's also hell, give it like, I don't know, four more issues. He'll take a year off and you can get caught up pretty quick.
Hmm.
But I'm probably at a nine and a half. Like it's on the teeter between those two. It was a really good issue.
Yeah, I'm at a 9 with it as well, and it is the final book that could be my pick of the week.
Yeah. Okay, man. What are you excited for this week?
Um, I'm probably taking one of yours, but I genuinely am very excited for Wolverine #1
Mm-hmm.
by Saladin Ahmed. I'm also gonna say Witcher, Corvo Bianco #4, and DC Vampires World War V #2.
Right on. I'm gonna say Godzilla Here There Be Dragons, two, Sons of Giants, three.
Such a funny thing to
I
say.
know. Then Team NT, enjoying that. And I'll go. I mean, I don't want to just say Godzilla versus my Mark Power Rangers. Wolverine was gonna be on my. Oh, I'll say Uncanny X-Men #2 because Uncanny 1 was really really good.
I did read that this week.
Oh, what'd you think?
Yeah, it was solid. The
Yeah,
art is so good,
yeah,
like
right.
crazy fucking good.
Yeah,
But
you gonna
mhm,
you gonna check out issue 2?
yeah, I will.
Okay, cool.
I like Gale more than you do in
Mm-hmm.
general, so I did like it, and uh, Rogue and Gambit I thought were awesome. Oh, and
Yeah,
Wolverine.
yeah,
I like those three. So
yep. And just seeing her Twitter, it seems like she's a big fan of Nightcrawler. So I have a feeling we're gonna
mhm,
get some really cool Nightcrawler shit before that's series is done.
yeah.
But the other day, we both like the show Hot Ones, and the other day, old Donald Duck was on Hot Ones. I only could make like the first 5 minutes, and I'm like, okay, this is just too stupid, and I had to turn it off. But had me thinking, what's four comic book characters you'd want to have on the podcast?
Real quick before I answer that, Sean Evans was on last week's episode of Master Chef, and it was awesome
Oh, nice.
because Gordon did an episode of
Yeah,
Hot
I
Ones.
I
So
saw that one.
that was a great episode. I loved that one, and when Alton Brown was on it. But
Yeah,
so it was cool that Gordon then had him on the show.
complete opposites. The Alton Brown one and the the Gordon one.
Dude, I know. And I love them both, dude. I don't know if you and the lady watch much Good Eats, but that's a great show.
We don't. I used to watch that when I was a kid. and I love Alton Brown because of it, but Bree's not much of a fan of the Good Eats.
Mm.
So, we just never got to watch that.
He Alton came to St. Louis before I met my wife, and she and her roommate at the time got to go take a couple of cookbooks of his and met him and got a picture and a signature. And I'm just like,
Nice.
I wish he'd come back so you could go again and I'd go
Yeah.
with you. But anyway, to answer the Fantastic Four, I was kind of thinking, who are some like Marvel and DC like personality type characters that would be fun to have on the show? And I came up with Lex Luthor. I think he would make a really interesting, like he'd really never do it, right?
Hmm.
But it'd be like, I don't know, it would break records, I think.
Yeah.
Um, and then I'd go with like maybe Cat Grant just to have a DC character. She's like she was an assistant of Perry White and then went off to do her own thing. And then Supergirl got a job under her. But anyway, I think she'd be a good fit for that. And then this is kind of the same answer. But for my final two, I'm going to go with J. Jonah Jameson and also G. Gordon Godfrey. Uh, they're opposite sides of the same coin, but I think they'd be, it's like, hey, Jonah, if he's in one of his Spider-Man hating
Yeah.
moods, right? It'd be like, come on, talk Spider-Man. Or, hey, G. Gordon, what do you think about aliens, right? Like, that would be a really fun one to have on there, too,
Yeah.
especially if it's the Tim Curry version. So, those are my answers.
Jay Jonah was one of the ones that I was gonna say, but I think Martian Manhunter, getting him like Justice League International Martian Manhunter, like we have him,
Mhm.
plate of cookies and he talks about, just whatever. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah,
Um, and then another one that I thought, I mean, don't get me wrong, it wouldn't be a good podcast, but like let's just say he has to do PR for the X-Men, so like we got Wolverine on. Like that's like that would be like a dream for me. I'd be like, ah, yeah. And then he would just hate it. He would hate it so much, but it'd
yeah.
be great.
Just short one-word answers for
Yeah.
everything.
Gets really mad that you just said it would be short. He'd be like, ah.
Good thing it's over Zoom.
And then let's say I think yeah, this is a dumb one. I think it'd be fun though. I don't even know much. I don't know enough about him, but I still think it'd be a fun time. Tawny Tiger.
Oh yeah, that's a
I think
good one.
that'd be a good one. And then we'll finish up, and I'll say, I mean, well, we'd have to get like one of the Spider-Men on because they actually read comics.
True. All right. Well, that's the end of the episode, man. So, what do you want the people to comment before you sign us off?
Let us know down below, like, what fictional characters you want to be a guest on this show, and like, can you do an impression of them? Do you want to just come on dressed like them? Who cares? It'd be funny. Um, but yeah, man, we'd love to stay in chat, but both of our characters are now dead. Bye.
Wow. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Two Worlds Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Two Worlds Pod, on Twitter at two_worlds_PC, and on Facebook at facebook.com/twoworldspodcast. You can email us with any questions or comments at twoworldspodcast@gmail.com, and if you would, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube.